30 Grandchildren Badge, Part 11. Hi, Carrots here, and welcome. Javon has just aged up and now he's a young adult. He's the first one in the family to do that. He's going to stay in the family home for a little while as he gets established as a young adult, but once he's got a few skills and found himself a wife, he's going to move out and start having babies. His babies will be the beginning of the 30 grandchildren, so we can't wait for that to start. Since Javon's main reason for existence is to provide Jerry with as many grandchildren as possible, he got the family-oriented trait when he aged up. There are several unattached female Sims in the world that I've placed as potential wives for the boys in the family, but I've got a special one in mind for Javon, and she's going to move into his house very soon in this episode, so you'll get to meet her. But he doesn't know her at first. They have to get to know each other over the next few episodes before they get married and have babies. Alicia has gone to the greenhouse to pick up some suns because they are short of funds, and she might also collect a few seeds while she's there. I'm just checking to see what's spawning there at the moment. I'm hoping to send Lynette here because she's desperate to find small animals to get her lifetime wish of zoologist. Felicia has completed her lifetime wish and she can age up at any time now, so she'll probably be the next one to age up. Spotted a little lilac-breasted roller. There was a lot of birds spawning at the greenhouse on this night, but they all would only allow my Sims to watch. She couldn't befriend or catch any of them. I thought that was cute. Back at home in their garden, the little toddler gnome is sucking its dummy. There's a few of them need to paint to get their lifetime wish, and a few of them are just painted because they wanted paint. Wilfred, the one showing he's very hungry off in the distance there, he needs to master painting to get his lifetime wish. There's Jerry, she's wishing for something autonomously. Let's see what happens. We might find out what she's wishing for.
Chimsy! Chimsy! Glarg! Oh.
No, she didn't get it. So I don't know what she wished for, I just saw her there. They seem to like wishing for things in the wishing well. Yes, hear that noise she's making? I can hear that all the time in the house. The Sims are wishing for things. When they get tired, they wish for happiness. But they could wish for anything. Be scary if they wished for a child. They can. Sims that wish for a child often get the evil child. You know, I could even get one of her children to wish for a child from the wishing well, and that would count, I think, as a grandchild. Not sure. We'll see. Now that the children are aging up, they're all teens now, and the ones like Javon's aged up to young adult is only a few days younger than his mother. This is because of the way I've got aging set, and that I gave her 15 instant babies on the same day. Poor thing didn't know what happened to her. I used a mod to do that. I'd forgotten Javon needs to graduate. Now this bloke at the door, he is turning into a real nuisance. I don't know, it's every day or almost every day. He turns up at the door and rings the doorbell at 1 o'clock in the morning. He's not even a paparazzi. He just shows up and rings the doorbell at 1 o'clock in the morning. Then he gets really angry because the door's locked and he can't get in. I think this is actually the first time this chap's been at the door, and Javon comes home and chats with him. But subsequently, he's just getting to be a real pest. Sims don't usually annoy me, but this bloke is starting to do a good job of it. They're all working on their gardening skill. That's one of the uses for this garden. Once they've all got all the gardening skill that I want them to have, I will hire gardeners to take care of this garden and then just let the garden die out gradually. Provided Jerry's got her lifetime wish. She needs to get a perfect garden. That's 8 perfect plants. It must be time for Javon's graduation. They're all heading out in their dress-up gear, their formal outfits. See, I completely forgot that Javon was going to have to graduate. Now this is funny. They all get into that little white car. There's 16 of them. It's not as funny as my little Twizzy in the story of Oscar and Louise. When Louise was learning to drive in Riverview, she was driving the Twizzy, which is only made for one Sim. They're all done up differently. I don't think I actually allocated any clothes to the children. It was all what the game gave them. So there they head off in their little white car, and now that here they are at City Hall waiting for Javon to graduate. He just walks straight through us. Ooh. Now it's interesting watching to see who shows up, but the thing that I found the most interesting is how unsociable they all were I've had games where I couldn't get them to go home. They were so busy socialising with all of the locals. But that is my big game, where I've had the boarding school and they know everybody and they're all friends. Whereas this game, I've kept this family isolated and not mixing with the locals. It makes a difference. When you've had a few generations through the boarding school, the whole town, it's like one big family. Whenever they get together, they all know each other. But there are a few interesting people or Sims that go into the graduation ceremony at City Hall. See, I think that is, it is. That's their father. He knows he's got these children, even though he's never laid eyes on them and had nothing to do with he was simply the donor that I used as a part of the mod. Neither he nor Jerry have ever met, as far as I know. And he's got himself a partner who's living with him. So I'm wondering if he turned up for his son's graduation. He does seem to take an interest in these teenagers occasionally. He'd only be a young adult as well, because I've got ageing set to absolute maximum. So they are ageing, it's just very slow. Once these teenagers have all aged up to young adult, I won't age them up anymore. I'll just get them to have babies. They're nearly all in. Oh, there's Yolanda. She lives in Tony's household as well. Finally, they're all inside. Now we've got to wait for the graduation to end. Now that's that paparazzi woman, that blonde one. She gets really annoying. Hello, the graduation's over. So that's it. They all want to go home now. All he did was come out and toss his diploma in the air and then he runs off. Some of them have got really formal wear and others not so much, not so formal. Jerry would have been given her outfits by me when I made her about 10 years ago. Javon settling down to computer games after graduation. I'm going to put him into the gardening career. There's the raccoon. That guy's a paparazzi. Yeah, that's a raccoon. Yes, Javon's going to join the gardening career because I need somebody to look after that garden. And if I don't put him into a career, he will get put into something that I don't like by the game. See, Constance, she's out in that sandpit constantly. Little Megan. This washing is the bane of this household. It's always piles of dirty laundry. And I've added lots and lots of hampers everywhere, but they just cause trouble. Javon had to hand in his fish that he'd caught. He had an opportunity to fish. That's why I sent him fishing. And he's been and handed the fish in, and now here he is reading a book on his way home. Just sat down in the dark to read. There you go, the one in pink on the left. That's Gwen. She's newly added to the household. That's the one that I've planned for Javon to match up with and for them to have babies together. School day, the first school day without Javon going to school. So we'll get both Javon and Gwen downstairs gardening, and I'll get Gwen into the gardening career as well. That should keep them both safe from having to get other jobs. But before they get to work on the garden, we'll get Gwen to make a bit of a dent in the massive laundry problem, and Javon's working on his cooking skill. So he's going to be preparing some meals and a few desserts, because I'm sure we're going to have more birthdays shortly. And next birthdays we're going to have extra food out, apart from birthday cakes. The downstairs party room looks quite interesting, with the lights off and just a few glowy decor items shining. And here comes Gwen to start gardening for the day. She's in her exercise outfit. She must have been doing some exercise. She's got a lot of traits relating to enjoying the athletics. I think she would be best off in the athletic career, but I've put her in the gardening career for now. She's got 3 traits in common with Javon, so they should get on well enough together. Because when I made her, I wrote down all of Javon's traits, and I made sure that although they weren't going to be totally identical, they're very much in common. Didn't want to take any risks about them rejecting each other. It's still possible, of course. It's going to be hard getting them to get to know each other in this household, because they've got so many things to keep them busy. So the little toddler gnome just popped away somewhere. He's been a toddler for a long time. I'd like to see him as a child, but I have played ahead from this point, and we didn't see him again until he turned into a teenage gnome, which is a bit of a shame. I could age him down again to child. His childhood seems to have been very quick. Looks like Gwen's hungry. I think Javon's still upstairs cooking. I have to get him down here gardening as well soon. Yeah, she's decided to cave and go upstairs and get something to eat. She had a wish to attend athletics class, so I sent her to the athletics class as soon as she'd eaten something. This is the stadium. It's a rabbit hole, so we can't see inside, but Gwen's inside there somewhere, attending her athletics class. Back at home, Javon's finally made it down to the garden, and he's doing his little bit of gardening. Looks like the trees are poking through the ceiling, but there's actually no ceiling there. I very carefully left that space empty from the floor above. As you can see now that he's gone up to the next level, the trees aren't poking through a floor. Demetria loves to play the guitar, but she needs to be painting now if she wants to complete her lifetime wish. Things are spawning at the greenhouse now, including the small animals. So I've sent Lynette there, and I hope that she'll catch enough to complete her lifetime wish of zoologist. Felicia's there just looking for wildflowers because she's got a wish to pick 10 and also 20 wildflowers. She's getting a few seeds while she's at it. There's a lot of birds have spawned, but none of them can be caught. They're all just watch. And Gwen has gone along there as well after she finished her exercise class. It's getting quite cool in the world at the moment, so they're all in their outerwear for the winter, wrapped up to keep warm. You can watch that bird as well. Maybe it'll let her catch it eventually. But you can see the glass of the greenhouse is all frosted up. There's another small animal there she can catch. I think she's quite close to getting her lifetime wish at the moment. She's hanging on to the what she catches a lot more too now. I don't have very many Sims living in this world at this point, so there's not much of their produce being sold from those humble harvest stands, which is a bit of a shame. I'm torn between adding extra Sims to the world and not wanting to have too many Sims in there because I want the game to last for as long as I need it to, without becoming overcrowded. Yes, there's birds everywhere. You could almost say we've got a plague of birds. There's cardinals and lilac-breasted rollers and macaws and parrots and all sorts of things. They're hidden in all sorts of strange places. There was even a crow hiding underneath one of the bushes. I always try to place those two spring riders in my greenhouse lots when I place the greenhouse. The Witchin' Rider, the black cat, it's now only available in a compilation from the store. It came with one of those free sets. I forget which one. That's what I would have got it in. But even that set you can't get anymore. But it's in one of the compilations. You'll see its picture down the bottom right corner, I think, of the compilation if you're looking for it. Oh yes, it's back to leaf raking at home. Got Lynette catching more little animals at home. Oh, she dropped that one. She seems to lose a lot of the ones she tries to catch at home. But she goes out, she usually seems to hang on to them. She's been inventing. It was Sharonda that got on fire. I have a shower right next to the inventing bench so that they could easily put themselves out. But when she caught on fire, there was another Sim in there using the shower to have a shower just to get clean. So Sharonda had to run all through the floor to get to the next shower that was available. She made it though, now it's off to school. And for some reason Gwen's having trouble finding where to throw the rubbish. She eventually got it in the bin, but it took a lot of times of picking it up and dumping it in the ground in front of her. I see that really annoying blonde paparazzi woman's turned up and she's working towards Gwen. Of course Gwen turns to chat to her. I suspect anything's better than throwing out that stinky rubbish. Being a brand new Sim, Gwen's got a lot to learn, and she had a wish to learn about alchemy, so I sent her inside to the alchemy station and she got studying. They've got plenty of ingredients now, so she should be able to make a few elixirs eventually. Since she got her wish to make an elixir and she had the ingredients to make Vial of Bliss, I allowed her to do that. And she's successful. She left her Vial of Bliss in the cupboard next to the elixir station, and she went downstairs to plant some of the seeds she had collected earlier at the greenhouse. She's going to be working in the garden until she has got to level 10 in her gardening skill, and then the only thing she'll be doing will be consigning produce. She'll leave the gardening to other Sims, and once all of the household have got to level 10 in their gardening skill, we'll hire gardeners to look after it. They must have picked that gnome up when they were travelling, or else it's just turned up mysteriously. Sultan Sam, the magic gnome from Egypt. They haven't been to Egypt, they only went to France. Javon had a wish to catch a turtle, so I had to send him to the greenhouse to catch his turtle. I don't usually worry so much about their wishes, but Javon's going to move out shortly, and I want him to get the no bills ever lifetime reward before he goes, so that if I ever play his household, I know that I won't have to worry about paying bills, because I always forget. So that's Dolores. She has to get to the top of the painting skill to get her lifetime wish. She's already got to the top of the guitar playing skill. I thought I'd enjoy this nighttime shot of the buildings all lit up behind, and there goes a spaceship. So it wasn't just buildings lit up behind the house, it was a spaceship as well. Now, Javon had a wish to write a sci-fi novel, so that's what he's doing. Then he had to come back down and work on the garden. Every morning it's an estate like this. It looks like he was up very late writing his novel. He'd better go to bed now. It's probably the wee small hours of the morning just after the garden got upgraded. Oh, the bus is there, ready to go to school. I think Dolores might be on the last painting that she's got to do before she manages to get her lifetime wish. She's very close. Everyone's gone to school and Gwen's headed off to the greenhouse. She's going to see what she can find at the greenhouse. I think she wanted to go and find some seeds. Yes, she's just found a seed. So she's right now, she's got her wish. That's the cow plant spring rider there for the toddlers if they ever should show up to the greenhouse. I think that came with the classic set. Don't have any toddlers to ride them. Oh, there's Tony McLean. He's the father of all those children. All hearts. He's got a girl who happens to live with him. She turns up pregnant shortly as well. Remember we met her in the last episode with the long black hair, straight black hair? At least he's probably had something to do with her pregnancy. The one that produced all of these 15 children who are now teens and growing up to young adults. There was no pregnancy involved with them. They were instant babies. And Tony just happened to get picked by me when I needed a donor, and he didn't have any say in it and he knew nothing about it. Poor Tony. There's the kids getting off school. Look at that. It's school's out. Off in the distance, there's the bus taking them home. I put the greenhouse just across from the school. It was really hard to find a 30 by 40 lot. Put it on a 40 by 40 lot. That was empty. Well, I could keep this going for another hour or so, but I think I'll just end it here. Thank you for watching, and I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I will be back, but it won't be for at least another couple of weeks because I am going away from home and I won't have access to the computer for at least 2 weeks. So enjoy your simming and catch up on some videos, and don't forget to subscribe or like if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more of them. I've got heaps more of this story recorded. So bye bye for now and happy simming.